Hey guys, welcome back to Generous Lifestyle with me, Lyle Weber. I'm excited to have you with me today. In today's video, we are going to be talking about 5 money ideas that I wish I had known early on in my life. And you'll quickly understand why I say so while we progress through the video. So let's hop on straight into today's video. So the first concept or money principle that I wish I had known was the concept of pay yourself first. You heard me right. Pay yourself first. And if this is new to you, what this talks about is taking a portion of your income, the very first portion of the income that comes to you, and then setting aside for you. Yes, you. And you might be saying, what do you mean for me? What about God? What about tithing? Well, I'm not talking about the tithe. I believe that the tithe is set aside for God, and I believe that I'm not paying the tithe. I believe that I'm tithing the tithe. But what I'm talking about over here is the concept of after the tithe, if you want to call it that way, anything else that comes into my bank account, a portion goes towards me. And the reason why this is very important, if you're paying everybody else first, you're never going to be setting aside any income for your goals, for the things that you need to be saving for, whether it's a holiday, whether it's the ability to buy a new house or a car. You're not going to be setting aside funds for investing and for your future because you're paying everybody else first. I look at myself. Years ago, I was making a good income, but all my money was spoken for before it came into my bank account. Yes, I tithed and yes, I sowed, but by the time it came to my bank account, I had my car payment and I had a few other things that I needed to pay, and when I wanted to set aside a certain amount to save, there just wasn't any money left. So I wish that I knew that I needed to take the first portion, set aside for savings and my goals, set aside for investing, and then making sure that I can pay my other bills as they become due. The second thing that I wish that I'd known was that I needed to be thinking about retirement, or as I call it, repurposement. And as I've mentioned before in the past, I don't believe in the kingdom of God that we actually retire. I believe that God always has a plan for us irrespective of our age. But I do believe that we can be setting aside income or in the form of investing, whether it's through your retirement fund at your work, whether it's through a retirement annuity or a Roth, where you are setting aside funds. So by the time you reach the age of retirement, you are at least able to maintain your current lifestyle. It saddens me. I know so many people that reach the age of retirement and they just can't afford to retire, and they have to continue to work and work and work, where they should be enjoying their time. They should be able to travel and do all those things, or at least maintain their lifestyle. So I wish I had known this concept before. I remember a quick example of me working at PricewaterhouseCoopers in South Africa, and we had the option to join their Provident Fund, which is kind of like a retirement fund. But I decided not to. I decided to buy me a nice car and things like that, and I left the organization with nothing set aside for retirement, where some of my friends had about $7,000 after the 3 years that we were there set aside. It might not seem like a lot, but if you apply the principle of compounding, it becomes a lot over a period of time. The next thing that I wish that I had known was to sit down each year and identify what my short-term goals are, whether it's a 3 to 6 month goal or a year-long goal, and even beyond that, and to make sure that my income was being channeled towards my goals. Because as I said earlier, I was spending all my resources on a monthly basis, but when I sat back and I looked at it, I wasn't spending anything on what was really important to me in terms of getting me closer to my goals or the things that I really wanted in life. So I wish I had known that I needed to pause each year and to reflect what my goals are and to make sure that my income went towards my goals. The next area that I think is very important that you need to be doing, or that I wish I had known, was that I needed to automate my spending. So as money comes in on a monthly basis, it should automatically be paying bills because it takes myself out of the equation. And what I mean by taking myself out of the equation, if I have to think of, I need to pay this particular bill, like my mortgage, and I have to pay my car, and I have to pay my this and my that, there's a lot of effort that goes into it, and there's a chance that I might pay it late, so there might be interest that I'm going to need to incur. There's a chance that I might miss something because I just forgot about it. But if it's set on autopilot, as soon as the money comes into my checking account for my fixed costs, it goes out automatically and it pays my fixed costs, I don't have to think about it. I know I'm not going to have any interest payments. I know, or late payment fees. I know that everything is going to be taken care of. It's just that discretionary portion which I need to then manage. And as I've indicated in the past, I've got a video which you can find on the top of the screen in the corner right now, where I talk about how we manage that with the debit card envelope system. And you can apply that if you would like to. But by automating the finances, it takes us out of the equation, and it just makes the managing of our personal finances a lot easier. The final thing that I want to mention, might sound a bit controversial, but I firmly believe that tithing and sowing and reaping won't necessarily guarantee you financial success. And I'm going to speak from my own personal experience. I was tithing, I was sowing, and I was just sowing, and I was sowing, and I was reaping a little bit at the time. But I asked the Lord, like, why am I not progressing in a particular area? And He told me, because He told me to do certain things in the natural. He told me to start a business. He told me to sell a particular asset. He told me not to do certain things, but I was too spiritually minded at the time that I thought all I needed to do was give God His 10% and sow every week, and that God would supernaturally or miraculously just make it happen and money would just come into my bank account. Yeah, I believe that. But I'm not knocking anybody that might believe that right now. But all I'm trying to say is we need to take the supernatural with the natural in order to achieve supernatural results. Sometimes we're looking for the spectacular, like God laying it on somebody's heart to do something for us, when God is telling me, Lyle, go and get a job. God is telling me, Lyle, you need to go and start a business, and this is how I want you to do it, because you're going to impact people's lives, but it's going to be profitable. So again, I believe in tithing, I believe in sowing and reaping, but I believe that sometimes God is telling us to do something natural that we miss out on what He truly has in store for us. And then just a little bonus tip. I know that I said there was 5, but the bonus tip that I want to leave you with is you need to have income generating assets. Income generating assets. So what an income generating asset is, it is an asset, something that you acquire that generates income for you on a regular basis. An example of this might be investing, so buying stock that yields a dividend. In addition to that, you could go and get bonds where the bank comes to you and they want your money, and in turn they pay you interest for a fixed term. Something else that you could do is you could go and get a certificate of deposit with the bank also, and so they are going to pay you income on a regular basis. You could also go and you could have a rental property, so go and buy a house or a condo or an apartment, and in turn people can pay you rent on a monthly basis. So that's just a little tip over there. If you're going to buy assets, and that's something that I wish that I'd thought about years ago, was to buy income generating assets. You might say that your car is an asset, but unless it's generating income for you, it's probably not. It's probably just going to depreciate in value. Although you could use your car with sites like Turo in the United States or Uber, where you can actually go and drive people around. You can generate income that way. But do you have the time to do that? The other ones that I've identified, I believe that everybody can do. You might be able to buy stock for $5 and you might earn a little bit off that, but start somewhere. So just to recap real quickly, guys, these are the 5 lessons that I wish that I'd learned earlier, but it's never too late. I started out, I identified what these lessons were, and I started implementing things in my life, and my life has changed dramatically. So you might feel hopeless today, as I've said in the past in some of the other videos, but don't give up hope. God has still got a good plan for you, irrespective of your financial position today. Stick with it. Apply these natural principles and watch how God turns your situation around. If you like this video, or you believe that there's somebody else out there that you know that could benefit from this video, do me a favor, share this video with somebody else. And also give me a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, because it helps this video get out to more people.